Sometimes you can actually just handle whatever is in front of you. And other times, so much stuff comes at you at the same time, you've got to make some fast choices. And that's a little bit of what I wanted to talk about in reference to last week when we talked a little bit about practicing problem solving. So, if you have a challenge, how do you know whether to let your team try to handle it yourself, or when an expert has to be contacted to make an investment and solve a really expensive, costly problem really fast? So make a comment in the comments for me. Let me know you're out there. Let me know how you're doing today, and if you are facing that kind of a business challenge, whether it's live, whether it's when in the recorded version, whatever it is. What is the challenge that faces your business, and how are you looking at that particular challenge? As leaders, we're supposed to have this tremendous ability to recognize the difference between the time investment to learn and experiment and the real expense of enlisting an expert. When do you know which one to do? It's extremely important for the life of your business to be able to recognize those really contradictory decisions. How do you know when to use resources one way versus the other way? So when the choice isn't obvious, what indicators do you look for to tip your choice in one direction or the other? So comment. Does it make sense? Make a comment. When many different problems arise, what do we do? And how do we know which one's better? So I want to tell you a little bit about a story. You guys have probably heard this one because it's pretty popular. A giant ship engine failed. Now, if you have ever watched any programs where the ships are at dock, you know that money's wasted. The crew's on board, the products aren't moving. So in this particular story, the ship owners tried one expert after another, but nobody could figure out how to fix the engine. Then they brought in an old man who'd been fixing ships since he was young. He carried a large bag of tools with him, and when he arrived, he immediately went to work. He inspected the engine very carefully, top to bottom. Two of the ship's owners were there, watching this man, hoping he would know what to do. After looking things over, the old man reached into his bag and pulled out a small hammer. He gently tapped something. Instantly, the engine lurched into life. He carefully put his hammer away. The engine was fixed. A week later, the owners received a bill from the old man for $10,000. What? The owners exclaimed he hardly did anything. So they wrote the old man a note saying, please send us an itemized bill. The man sent the bill, and it read, tapping with a hammer, $2. Knowing where to tap, $9,998. Effort's important, but knowing where to make the effort makes all the difference. Now, you've heard the story. I'm sure you probably have. So before we go any further, do you believe that expert was worth $10,000? Yes or no in the comments. Is he worth $10,000 to get the ship moving again? Because without the engine, you're not going anywhere because there weren't any sails on the ship. How much money was the ship owner losing every single hour? Because that ship is not doing anything if it's tied to the dock. Did you notice that the expert immediately went to work? How many times have you seen consultants, and it could be anywhere, they come in and they start filling time, and that's not really, as a business owner, what you want, right? He inspected the engine very carefully from top to bottom. So he's gathering information. People who wait and don't give immediate answers. Build respect and trust. Very, very important as an expert. And you'll start to build trust with people who listen and don't start asking you or answering questions too quickly. So here's another point in the story. He took a small hammer and he gently tapped something. How many so-called experts have you met who seem to think noise and flourish compensate for expertise? So comment, have you heard this story before? I love this story. Are you one of those experts? Are you one of those people who knows exactly what to do in those crisis situations? Tell us if you are, because we may have to reach out to you for something. And the other side of this is, do you need one of those experts? It's important to know. You may need that. So in the situation where you would have to hire an expert, there's some things that we have to look for. Notice that in the story, the ship owners had tried multiple experts who could not fix the ship engine. This is a very important point because I think sometimes we really believe the first person we contact is going to be able to do whatever it is we need to do, and we get frustrated. And we say, well, I'm wrong because I didn't guess right. That's not really a fair weight to put on your own shoulders. Sometimes you have to say, if this guy can't fix it, okay, Mr. First Expert, who do you know? And go to that person and then go to that person. Or sometimes we've got to back up. And we have to figure out what we're going to do to find that next expert. So when you need an expert, where will you go to find one? Do you have that list of people who help you to find the expert that's not going to cost you even more money? How will you know if the expert you choose is capable of getting results? That's an important point because you can't throw $10,000 anywhere. Some people charge for that initial assessment. You have to know whether to pay that or to find an expert who won't. So one of the most important things we can do in our businesses is to make sure we have people we can go to in the time of crisis. I have a number of them in various places. I don't even have them in my personal life. And for those of us who are fortunate enough to still have our parents, they kind of rack up in there with the experts. They also help us when we need to make those decisions. So who in your life do you trust to ask those questions? To go in this direction, to go in that direction. Make sure that you comment. Let me know what you think. Tell me who some of your experts are. And if you're ready to take action for your own business and start to take the steps to get better at solving problems, to find some of the answers for yourself, comment expert in the comments and let me know that you're ready to get started. I hope that you enjoy the shorter live sessions because I think that sometimes we need just a little bit of a boost in the middle of our day. Build those lists of people who can help you through the rough spots. Stay tuned, stay active, comment, let me know how things are going. I wish you the absolute best today and tomorrow, finishing out your week, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks so much.